Hello and welcome to the Manifestation Mind Hack webinar. I'm Brennan Smith from naturalhypnosis.com, here to guide you on this process for massive breakthrough in your capacity to manifest. We are going to up-level, upgrade, expand, enhance your ability to manifest the life you are choosing to live. We do one of these Mind Hack webinars every month. The topics are guided by you. You let us know what you want the next webinar to be about. We'll talk about that more in just a few minutes. For now, I want to welcome you wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. We are here on a beautiful morning in the park just behind Natural Hypnosis headquarters in North America. Delighted to be talking to you about manifestation as a whole new way of living your life and a whole new mindset for the way you approach daily life. I want you to know as we go forward today, we go intense, we go deep, we go fast, and we go forward in a way that may not always be comfortable for you, but I am more committed to your greatness than I am committed to your comfort. If anything I say sets you off or puts you in a direction that says, I don't know if I can go there, that's up to you. You make your choice. What I know is you could always try out anything that I say and then come right back to where you are now if you decide that's not for you. So why not play? That's going to be one of your jobs today. We'll talk about that in a second. Let me tell you what my job is today. My job is to use hypnosis, NLP, guided visualization, and some open-eyed trance language to help you have a breakthrough that gives you new access to your ability to manifest. Your job, you have two of them. Number one, play. Play with the idea that you can transform your life. Play with the action steps we give you. Play with the curiosity of an explorer out to discover entirely new worlds within yourself, in this case. And then a whole new world will be revealed to you outside of you. That is what we're up to today. Your second job is to focus. Not only because a clear, consistent ability to stay focused is so vital for manifestation, but also because for you to get what you're here to get from this experience, you need to be focused. So clear out the cell phone notifications, clear out the web notifications, clear out any space around or possible disturbances or interruptions, and get yourself to a place now where you can focus. While you're getting that all set up, I'll let you know a little bit about myself. As I said, my name is Brennan Smith. I am the co-creator of naturalhypnosis.com, as well as a coach, facilitator, consultant, and trainer for the federal government in the United States of America and some corporations in the United States. I coach teams for high performance, entrepreneurs to stop procrastinating and to move on to their highest possibilities. That's what I do. I come from a background in neurophysiology. That was my undergrad degree. And I have since moved forward to these various levels of understanding how to work the brain, how to work belief systems, how to work the whole human experience and do it with power and with grace and with fun and with fulfillment. So that's what we're here to experience today. I'm the author of the book, The Art of Inspired Action, and an author on the Huffington Post. So that's a little bit about me. Let me tell you about the flow that we're going to experience today. Step number one is that we're going to accept the life we have right now. Step number two is we're going to give ourselves permission to choose any life we want going forward from here. And step number three is we'll choose the life we want to manifest. We'll have action steps at every step along the way, and at the end, we have a special offer for you. I make two promises to you. The first promise is to those of you who have the Manifestation Success Hypnosis series at naturalhypnosis.com. For those of you, I promise you will deepen your understanding of why those tracks are structured the way they are in such a way that you accelerate your results from those tracks. And number two, for those of you who don't have the Manifestation Success Hypnosis series, my promise to you is you will have a breakthrough during this 30-minute Mind Hack webinar that allows you to have an entirely new access to manifestation. Now, I don't think you could imagine that 35 minutes from now, after you've listened to the whole webinar and done the action steps one time, that you're already going to have the life you want. So I can't promise you that. I only promise you that during this time together, you will have the breakthrough that shows you in the next few days and weeks and months that something drastic has changed in your manifestation capacity. And that'll be a fun journey to go on. So let's get started. I said step 1 is going to be accept the life you have. And the way we're going to do that powerfully is to move through some questions together. So question number 1 is very simple. Does the past exist? What do you think? My thoughts on this are, if the past existed, I would be able to pull my past right out of my pocket here and show it to you. We'd be able to describe its colors, its shapes. We'd be able to look at it. I could set it right here on a table and we could just have a conversation about my past. It would be observable. There's nothing there. Doesn't exist. Second question. Does the future exist as a reality? Not a possibility, as a reality. Well, let's have a look. I don't see it. You? I mean, if the future was a reality, it would be here now. We could look at it, talk about it. We could talk about the possibility, but as a reality, doesn't exist. Next question. Will the future exist when it arrives? Let's look at this way. Let's say you have plans for next Thursday. Do those plans exist next Thursday? No. They exist right now in your mind as a plan. And you can believe in next Thursday. That belief exists now. But next Thursday? Doesn't exist. Next question. What exists? Yes. Now. Here. Here and now. This is what exists. Next question. When can you take action to affect what you might see when the future does arrive? And we're calling it the new now. When the day after tomorrow becomes today, becomes here and now. When can you take action to affect what that looks like when it arrives? Of course, now. Only now. This is the only moment. Right now. Follow with me here. If you're sitting, put your feet shoulder width apart, flat on the floor. If you're standing, shoulder width apart with your slight bend in your knees. Regardless of whether you're sitting or standing, just relax your stomach. so that you can breathe into a nice relaxed stomach. Not this kind of breath. This kind of breath. Okay, got it? Your stomach will expand with every breath. Now take your shoulders and put them forward and up and back, and let them just drop down. Take your chin and put it parallel to the floor. Let your eyes be soft, not focused on anything in particular. It helps sometimes to just look all the way through the walls or whatever's in front of you, and imagine you're looking all the way to the horizon. That'll give you a nice soft gaze. Soften around the eyes. Let the jaw relax by breathing through your mouth. As you continue to breathe into your belly, take your hand and put your thumb in your belly button, and let your hand just drop onto your lower belly. Where your pinky is, halfway between the front and back of you, is your physical center of gravity. If it helps to close your eyes, if you're that kind of person who does visualization that way, imagine that you're putting all of your attention and focus on that spot, halfway between the front and back of you, just below the belly button. And imagine that with every breath you breathe in, your belly expands into your hand, and there's a source of energy there that's also expanding at the very center of who you are. As that energy expands, let it be filled with an image that gives you a sense of power. Some people like to imagine a force of energy there, a source of power, light, glowing color, something thriving, something alive, something powerful. Let it be something that it can expand with every breath you breathe. And just take 3 deep breaths right here, letting your sense of peace, calm, and focus expand with every breath. We call this being centered. And this is the practice of centering. Let your eyes come open now and stay centered right here with me. From this place, there is no past, there is no future. We are centered in this moment now. And the most powerful first step we take is to accept everything that is right here and now. Everything we are and everything we see. As you take this practice of centering and continue to repeat it in the various days and weeks and months to come, you will find that acceptance can move to the point where you actively can say, I not only accept it how it is, I choose it to be so. I chose this. I brought this into being. It is mine. And as that feeling expands with every breath, you eventually arrive at, I am grateful for exactly how it is. I accept it. I choose it to be so, and I'm deeply grateful for everything in my life. Challenges and joys, ups and downs, all of it. All the relationships, all the people, all the opportunities, all the obstacles. I choose all of it to be right where I am. This is the most powerful launching pad for manifestation that exists in the entire universe. This centered space of acceptance and gratitude. Action step. Set your phone to pop up a reminder 3 times a day. Set your laptop, maybe, if that's what you would prefer. Put 3 rubber bands on your left hand. Anything that says 3 times a day, stop. Feet shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knees, relax the belly. Shoulders up, back, and down, chin parallel to the floor, eyes soft, looking to the horizon. Breathing through the mouth so the jaw is soft. And take 3 deep breaths, expanding the source of power within you. Choosing to be right where you are, accepting it just as it is, and filling with gratitude as you breathe it in. That's action step number 1. We're now going to move on to the second section. Having accepted the life we have, and you'll get better and better and better at that with repetition. Having accepted the life we have, we move on to giving yourself permission to have any life you want. Oh wait, before I move on, I said earlier that I would remind you to let us know if there are topics that you want to see in the next webinar. If coming to a greater and greater sense of acceptance and gratitude is a topic that you want us to do a deeper dive on, just write to support@naturalhypnosis.com. And tracks 2 and 5 in the hypnosis series are all about this acceptance and gratitude as well. This is the platform that we stand on as we go forward. So, wanted to make sure we're clear on that. Moving on. Next is permission for you to have and choose any life that you want. So, again, questions for you. First question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love yourself every day? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the maximum, how much do you love yourself every day? Good. Now, if you answered in your mind 10, congratulations. If it was anything less than 10, ask yourself, why not a 10? Really answer the question. It's very important. We're going to use whatever information comes up here. So, why not a 10? Really get in touch with that. Got it? Now, having experienced hundreds and thousands of answers to this question, I'm going to guess that those of you who weren't a 10, the reason that you weren't a 10 lands somewhere in the range of 10 would mean I've arrived. And I know that I'm not yet complete, or I'm not blank enough, smart enough, thin enough, I'm not moral enough. By my own standards, I don't live up to the way I say I want to be. I'm not successful enough. Whatever your measure was. And now, my next question for you is this. Did I ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, how perfect are you? No, that was not my question. My question was, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love yourself every day? You see, the vast majority of people, especially in Western Hemisphere countries, have collapsed together the notion of lovability and self-improvement. I'm here to separate these two and give you permission to love yourself at a 10 while you are continuing on your journey. I hope for the rest of your life. I'm never going to stop. Rest of your life improving yourself, getting more competent at the things that you want to be masterful at, getting more and more healthy, getting more and more intelligent. All of it, constantly expanding and creating ourselves anew. And the whole time we're on that journey, loving ourselves at a 10. Keep them separate. Got it? This is what track 3 is all about in the series. It is the notion that self-acceptance has always been way more powerful in getting the life you want and being the human being you want. self-acceptance, way more powerful than self-improvement. This will come as long as you're learning. As long as you stay in the game. This is a choice. You're choosing to allow yourself to love yourself at a 10 releases you from a manifestation barrier of the past. The manifestation barrier was you were sending mixed signals to your brain, to the universe, whatever your belief systems are about why we manifest as human beings. Doesn't matter. You're sending signals one way or another. The signal you were sending in the I love myself at a 7 days was, I want such and such a life, but I know I'm not really worthy of it. And it was because you had collapsed those two things. Now that self-acceptance can be at a 10, love of self at a 10, and self-improvement can just come along at its own pace, you get to say, I want that life, and I know I'm a 10. I'm ready to receive it. And all the rest of this stuff, I'm going to keep working on while I'm on the journey of manifesting that life that I've chosen. You now have full permission to choose the life you want, which is where we're going next. First, action step. The action step is that when you're doing your 3 times a day centering, and you're bringing in acceptance, you're bringing in the ability to choose the here and now, and you're bringing in the ability to be grateful for the here and now, breathe in self-love and let that expand as the 4th and final breath that you add on to the centering. Breathing in and reminding yourself you have full permission to love yourself at a 10 as you continue to go on your journey of self-improvement in any of those other areas. Got it? If you want us to go deeper and deeper on your capacity to love yourself at a 10, support@naturalhypnosis.com. We could do an entire webinar about this. But if you've already felt it and had your breakthrough, then you got it. You're free to separate those two and go 10 right now. Okay? Okay, so we've accepted the life we have. We've given ourselves full permission to choose any life we want. Now it's time to choose. Choosing the life you want is something that we cannot do powerfully if we stay confined by some belief systems that got promoted by the rationalists about 400 years ago, philosophers who were known as the rationalists later. I don't know that they called themselves that, but people later referred to them that way. They were the ones who informed the Age of Enlightenment thinkers about 350 years ago, and those thinkers have drastically influenced the way we view what it is to be human. We want to take all the benefits of that viewpoint that has become automatic and pervasive. It's just the way we talk about being human. We want to keep all the benefits, and there are a couple of key ways that prevailing belief about what it is to be a human being has kept us down when it comes to manifestation. And we're out to release that, to free it up. Okay? It goes back to questions again. Here's the question. How did you arrive at the here and now? What brought you here to the present? It's a weird question. It's a weird question, but if you understood where I was going with it and what I meant by what brought you here to the present, did your answer have something to do with the past? As in, past events have all added up to cause me to be who I am and for the world to be the way it is. Something along those lines? Yeah? Okay, next question. What is the greatest predictor for what the future might look like? Well, if you're an Age of Enlightenment thinker and you believe cause and effect is an actual thing that's happening, you know, like Newtonian physics, then you would maybe have said something to do with the past, that the greatest predictor of what will happen in the future is what has already happened, and that it's going to be somewhere in the range of plus or minus 10% of whatever we've already seen. It's just going to keep going. That's Age of Enlightenment thinking about how the future happens. Enter the human being. You. Me. We are the one thing that doesn't play the cause and effect game unless we choose to. Now, the cause and effect game, when it comes to choosing the life you most want to live, the cause and effect Age of Enlightenment approach to that would have you choosing something that is related to the past, because that's all that's available to you. In a cause and effect world, you cannot change the idea that the past will generally continue itself into the future. It's like somebody took their cursor, put it over the past, and brought up the menu and hit copy, and then they moved it over to the future, and they brought up their cursor and they hit paste, and they just copy pasted the past right into the future. And then it might get a little better, or it might change, or it might get worse. You might have dire thoughts about the future. I don't know. What I do know is any thoughts you have had about the future, if you were thinking in an Age of Enlightenment cause and effect framework, they were related to the past. I am here today to free you up from that idea, because you are a human being, and because human beings have the ability to do something that drastically alters that entire model. It takes us from Newtonian to Einsteinian physics when it comes to how time works and how space works. It's called you committing to a future that doesn't exist and that has never existed in the past. And born out of that commitment, you alter the very fabric of what's possible. Take Gandhi as an example. A totally unpredictable, unreasonable commitment to change an entire social historical structure. And the events of the world have shifted. Take President John F. Kennedy, who says we will put a man on the moon by the end of the decade. It was impossible at the time. But because human beings can commit to that which doesn't exist, and then take action born out of that commitment, as though it's already a done deal, we change the future. Henry Ford, pick any number of 1,000 people that have inspired you. The inspiration comes in that moment of choice. And they didn't choose based on what was predictable or reasonable. They chose based on the world they couldn't live without. What world are you so committed to living in that you can't live without it? That's an unreasonable commitment to a new future. It is entirely free from the past. It's an expression of who you are at your finest. Action step: commit to an unreasonable outcome that you can accomplish in the next 3 days. I didn't say can accomplish like predictable. I said can as in possible, but unreasonable. What could you possibly do in the next 3 days that would be unreasonable for you to attempt, but really exciting as a first step toward the life you have chosen for yourself? One of the ways that you can powerfully choose a new life is through track 1 in the series. We walk you through that whole process. It's fun. I highly recommend it. If you want us to talk more about choosing and having vision and how to create an unreasonable but compelling new future, support@naturalhypnosis.com. We could do an entire webinar about this. This is your Mind Hack 30-minute version right now. If you've got it, then you've got it. Commit to something unreasonable in the next 3 days. Okay? Now, affirmation and visualization, really quick. These are the two most powerful tools in manifestation. Nothing will ever change that. That's how it is. And people have said that the tool that you use consistently is the one that works. In my work, I put a slight distinction on that. The tool that you use consistently within a powerful context or framework or paradigm is the one that works like gangbusters. After you're having accepted the life you have now, right here, right now, after you're loving yourself at a 10 effortlessly every day, after you're having chosen a life and a future based on what you compel yourself toward, what you feel so called to live into as a future that you believe is already yours to claim and own, then the tools of affirmation and visualization, it's mind-boggling how different they are, how powerful they are. Let's check in to make sure, having completed the entire flow of what we were out to discuss today, let's make sure that I've kept my promises to you. I said if you have the hypnosis series, you'll get a deeper understanding and an accelerated result. You'll know already whether you have that. If you don't have the series, I said you will get a breakthrough in your capacity to manifest through new access to what it is to be a powerful manifester. Check in on that promise about the breakthrough. The breakthrough of accepting where you are now, because the past doesn't exist and the future doesn't exist. The breakthrough of loving at a 10 because we decollapsed, we separated love of yourself and self-improvement as a journey that you go on. Check in with yourself on the breakthrough of being able to choose any life you want, because it doesn't have to have any correlation to the past whatsoever, because you are a human being and because human beings do this. It was a breakthrough for me when I first learned these things, and my life has been drastically different ever since. I wish you the same results, or better. If you've already gotten what you need, thanks for being here today, and it's my pleasure to serve you. If you want to go deeper in your manifestation mastery, on this page at naturalhypnosis.com, if that's the site you're watching this, you'll find a very special offer that's only available to the people who watch this webinar to get our manifestation series at a huge discount. If you're watching this on YouTube or somewhere else, just go to naturalhypnosis.com/manifestation special, and you'll have that same offer available to you. It's been my pleasure to spend this time with you today. Well, I look forward to hearing your stories of manifestation. Go, be powerful and unreasonable, and enjoy the journey.